The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us on a Friday morning. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. Golden Valley High's graduation ceremony came to an abrupt end last night when a fire broke out right next to the football stadium. It sparked at about 8:30 p.m. Family members tell us the ceremony was interrupted when fireworks were launched next to the stadium, sparking the fire. The visitor side had to be evacuated and the ceremony was cut short. Another family member said she believes that they are rescheduling the rest of the ceremony. We've reached out to Kern High School District for more information, but we've not heard back as of news time.
Turning to a follow-up story that we've been tracking all week, and the situation for commuters living in the Kern River Valley isn't going to get better anytime soon. Highway 178 will remain closed through the canyon for the next several months. Both lanes were shut down last weekend after large gaping cracks formed on the road near the edge of a cliff, likely as a result of erosion from our state's historic rainfall earlier this year. Well, the cracks also appear to have been getting wider over time, and due to the severity of the damage, Caltrans says it does not anticipate the road to fully reopen anytime soon. However, Caltrans also says it is working on partially reopening the road in the next 2 to 4 weeks by using one-way traffic control.
And the 178 Canyon closure has done more than just increase drive time between Bakersfield and Lake Isabella. Long-term closures can have a significant impact on the local businesses that thrive off commuters and tourists. 17's Marco Torres spent the day in Bodfish and Lake Isabella talking with locals about how the closure is affecting their community.
The closure has made traveling to Lake Isabella area a hassle. It takes about 3 hours to go the route CHP and Caltrans recommends travelers to take. I took a different route. I went on Caliente Bodfish Road. It's open to the public, but it's not recommended if you have a large vehicle. Trailers, vans, or very large trucks like a Penske moving truck should not go on this road. You're risking your life and others if you do. Many of the locals say they take this route to cut down travel time, but it still takes about a couple of hours.
It was only about 45 to 50-minute drive from my job. Now it's doubled that to an hour and a half to 2 hours on a good day. And for me, being on call 24/7, 7 days a week, that doesn't work out for me very well.
Residents in the area say they've seen more people around since the canyon closure.
I haven't noticed much. Granted, we just got off of Memorial Day weekend, so I've seen a lot of traffic flow from that. And I think people are kind of figuring out the back way to go over Walker Pass. So it seems it's been pretty steady.
But all the residents in the area are greatly concerned for the small businesses, especially now that the canyon will continue to be shut down for at least a few more weeks.
I definitely think so, because I think some people are concerned about, especially if they're from Bakersfield or maybe northward, where they have the easiest path is the canyon. So some of them might be deterred because it turns into a 2-hour drive instead of a 1-hour drive.
It's prime time right now, June, July. Unfortunately, this is when everyone's getting out. So I do believe it's going to hit them. Some folks may not make it. Others may barely make it.
Marco Torres was out with that report. And this morning, we are closely monitoring the Kern River as more water continues to flow into Isabella Lake. Well, right now this morning, the lake is at 77% capacity. That is according to reports from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And the lake is getting so full, we've actually seen some reports of docks and boat ramps in the area that have actually flooded. And there's still a lot of snow still sitting in our mountains. Some areas of the Sierras still have more than 5 feet of snow just waiting to melt this morning.
Making news around the nation, the bill to avoid a government default cleared its final hurdle. Senators passed the measure late last night. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington.
Having been achieved, the bill is passed.
Economic catastrophe averted.
We've saved the country from the scourge of default.
In a 63-36 vote, senators passed the bipartisan agreement to raise the debt ceiling in exchange for spending cuts. In a statement, President Biden called the move a big win for our economy and the American people, a sentiment echoed throughout his administration.
It builds on another step that the president secured last year when he passed the Inflation Reduction Act.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell praised the bill as an important step toward fiscal sanity. The measure also comes with criticism. Senators introduced 11 amendments, all shot down, including Senator Tim Kaine's attempt to block efforts to speed up completion of a controversial gas pipeline.
Virginians don't want to have their land taken for a pipeline unless there is a thorough process.
It's been scrutinized to the nth degree, and it's just been put off by an activist court, and I don't agree with that, so I don't agree with my friend Tim Kaine.
Neither side got everything they wanted. Party leaders say compromise was essential to saving the country from a first-ever default.
We're very, very happy. Default was the giant sword hanging over America's head.
The bill is now headed to President Biden's desk. And President Biden is scheduled to address the nation on the debt ceiling bill this evening. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
As school comes to a close, students receive yearbooks, passing them out to each other and leaving words to remember. However, when one school attempted this annual tradition, the students had to return their yearbooks shortly after getting them. 17's Michaela Armstrong has more.
Parents in Kernville are at odds about a quote in a Wallace Middle School yearbook that forced the school to temporarily stop distribution of yearbooks and to ask students who had already purchased one to return it. One parent told 17 News the quote in the yearbook was from Adolf Hitler and said, "He who live must fight. He who doesn't wish to fight in the world where permanent struggle is the law of life has not the right to exist." But that is unconfirmed by the school, and the school did not confirm what else was found in the book. Ashley De La Rosa of Kern Education Justice Collaborative says this has a lasting effect on the children.
It's really disheartening to hear and to know that it's happening in your own community. Students already feel that they don't have a safe space, right? And so it's not only that they don't have a safe space in their school, but their school is now taking it home with them.
The district remains tight-lipped, but put out a statement saying, "We are disappointed by some of the hateful and disgusting images and words in the Wallace Middle School yearbook. They are not representative of our schools and district's core values." But De La Rosa says the district shouldn't have let it get this far.
The yearbook coordinator, the publishing, again, someone should have seen that and been able to call it out before distributing to children to take home.
However, at other schools across the country where this has happened, it has cost schools thousands of dollars to reprint the yearbooks and takes time. Michaela Armstrong, 17 News.
Now, we reached out to the school district and Superintendent Steve Martinez, and he said, although World War II, Holocaust, and communism are not taught until high school, we recognize we need to teach our students about the impacts of hateful words, speech, and images.
In South Bakersfield, a police cruiser was involved in a crash with another vehicle. You can see somehow the vehicle ended up on top of the police car's hood. It happened at the corner of Panama Lane and Hammond Way yesterday afternoon. No word on who was at fault. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt, but the driver of the car was taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
A man charged with murder and mutilation of a corpse in Ridgecrest has been found mentally competent to stand trial. Daniel Gunnarsson was arrested 2 years ago after he was found with the body of Catherine Pham in the garage of his stepfather's home. Investigators say Gunnarsson was upset that his romantic feelings for Pham were not mutual and that he killed her with an ice pick. Gunnarsson was previously found incompetent to stand trial in 2021 before receiving treatment at a state hospital. Yesterday's ruling means criminal proceedings will continue with a trial date set for next month.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.